It did last time
Hey,
too.
what's up?
We're super pro here.
Yeah, that is cool. That is very cool. Okay, so we were talking about for episode 2 the threads, and
The
sleep deprivation. How you feeling?
like I said earlier, hot garbage, and he's slightly now frustrated hot garbage, trying to get the stuff to work.
That doesn't feel a
Technical
lot better.
difficulties. It's probably the sleep deprivation that's causing the problems.
You know, if I can even
yeah.
just indulge real quick in a super personal hack, life hack. This is stupid.
Sure.
I recently, not so recently, I have been for many years, earbudding all night long. I sleep with earbuds in, and I have nighttime meditations. There's a jillion of them on YouTube. I've been thinking of making some because the best meditations are the ones that I make myself, even though I do listen to other meditations by other people just because it's
Sure.
interesting to get different ideas. But if I ever thought that I could make some money in making meditations and plop them
Sam
out there for
Harris
people.
has based his business on this. He's opened a whole new website
No kidding. He does meditations
doing
at night?
meditations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a heck of a thing. So anyway, the life hack part of this is I found on Amazon a headband. It's probably for girls mostly, but hey, what the hell? Nobody sees me at night. Anyway, it's a headband. It's a Bluetooth device, got little speakers in it. They're not earbuds, but because
Oh
it's
no,
a
I've seen
headband, the
it.
whole thing.
Yeah, it's a sleep device. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
sleep,
it's
sleep
like
device.
the Mosey Cozy or something like that. And
Yeah.
so there you go. It's super comfy. You can lay on the side of your head on the pillow and be okay. And that's how I do my nighttime thing now.
That is
That
awesome. We did
Doesn't
discuss
help
that.
when you're doing elder care though, because if you need to be able to hear stuff in the middle of the night, you will not.
That's it. And it's not, if I need to, I am always hearing stuff at night. When he is up, he's just at the part of dementia. He was always a little rough with computer stuff. He's older, but he got really good, mostly because of porn, at using the computer and the mouse. So he got that down. But now his dementia he's forgetting how to use the mouse. And so he'll reach out and he's turning it on the desk like it's a dial. And then when that doesn't work, he picks it up and tries to push the mouse onto the screen. So he's becoming a little more disconnected. And so he'll start to get really frustrated. And I hear him tapping the screen and tapping on the desk. So then I get up and I have to remind him, no, the mouse goes here. Move it like this. You do that, you hit that button, and then he goes, okay, I got it. And then he's good for maybe another half hour. So he just needs constant resetting.
Is he forgetting that the actual feedback part of the mouse is the little arrow on the screen? Is that what he's forgetting?
I don't know exactly what because he'll also at times try and smoke the mouse. So he knows he wants a cigarette. He's just kind of getting detached, and whatever happens to be in front of him, because there's a red light underneath the mouse, and so it's kind of like a cigarette, I'm guessing. So I'll go in there, and he's trying to inhale the mouse. That's why I had to take away the regular lighters. So he only has the electric lighters now, because he was melting his mice.
Gets no satisfaction from that now. So.
But then when I go in and reset him, he's fine. He's like, oh yeah, okay. Now I remember. And then he just goes about his day. It's just, it's nothing hard, nothing complicated. It's just constant. And he's up all night. He's sleeping like a baby right now. So, and like I was saying earlier, right when we start getting into conversation, he'll probably wake up and I'll have to go over and get him some coffee and get his YouTube set up and just set him up. So it's exhausting. Nothing's hard. It's all exhausting.
It's a grind.
Just enough. It's the grind. And I don't mind it. If the rest of the world could just for the next couple of years go the fuck away, that would be awesome. If all I had to do is like this, set up this and be able to pause, and instead of having to get in the car, go to work, get the checkbook, if I didn't have to go out anywhere, if I was just here, it would be great. But life happens. It never stops for things like this. And so that just makes it hard. It's hard.
And that's leading to some burnout. I mean, what's your burnout level right now,
Yeah.
would you say?
Oh. It's pretty high. Well, it was worse
sure that it
when I was going
fluctuates.
through. It does. It's actually slightly better now because I'm on slightly... Because I was doing all this on heavy chemo. So this is all happening at the same
Right.
time that I'm trying to run a business, take care of a house, take care of my dad, and go through chemo. So I'm still on rituximab, which is an immune monoclonal antibodies. So it's not technically a poison. It's more telling my
Bloody
body
hell.
to attack myself. So it's draining, it's tiring, but it's not aggressive poison like the first 6 months of chemo was. That was hard. And most of that's a blur. It was a blur of misery and torture, and I can remember parts of it. Now it feels like I'm waking up from the nightmare into a slightly less strenuous nightmare.
Slightly less
So-
nightmarish nightmare.
Yeah. But at the same time, I was also feeling kind of depressed in my relationship.
Right.
Because she who shall not be named, my ex, is still my business partner. We still own a business partner. She's still a trusted friend, and she's going to be in my life forever. So it wasn't a bad thing. It was just, even though I was so miserable and tired from the chemo, I wasn't doing other things because there was somebody else in the house, and I was kind of psychologically going, well, that other person's there and is going to do it, and she's going through her own stuff, and so she wasn't doing it. So the house was getting moldy, dusty, unclean, cluttered. I would set something down and it would just stay there because I would detach from it. And so the energy injection of us separating and going through splitting everything up and talking, our communication is still really good. So that cleaning of life, what I mentioned last time with Jordan Peterson, cleaning my room, the whole process of cleaning and splitting that up has alleviated some burnout because everything's different now. Everything's
A
weird.
little bit of an energy
The house is
injection
still the
then.
same. Yeah, the energy is
yeah.
different. And now when I set something down, I have to remember I'm the only one here that's going to do anything about it. There's no one else here, so it's on me. Whereas before, when there was somebody there, in the past, when we'd been closer and been more active, we took more of an active role in each other's lives, but near the end, we were kind of separate.
Right.
And so now I'm having to reestablish that, I have to do it, or it's not going to get done. So it gives me a little more energy. I'm inspired to do a little bit more, but at the same time, still taking care of Dad, still going through chemo.
Of course.
And now I'm exhausted from cleaning the house and all the dust and mold and stuff that I've been cleaning up. So it's just been a lot. 2023, when I say it's 2023 and everything's happening, I'm not talking about the news, although there is that too. Everything is coming to a head in my life. All the loose ends are being cut. All the stuff is happening at work. The AC, 2 of the ACs are out. The roof is leaking. There's,
Oh, crap.
There's was a problem with the bank account for it just everything that could go wrong in this last year has gone wrong. Everything's getting resolved. We all have the resources to do it,
Right.
but it feels like I'm being assaulted from every angle all the time, and it makes me a little crazy. And I'm, as a wise man once said, I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
That is one classic line right there.
So, and I've been trying to ease off on the cannabis and ease off on the alcohol, but boy,
Is that only so that you can be a little more together for taking care of your dad, or why would you do that? Was it just too
cannabis
much?
I can't really get around. There spots on my neck and my head, and the back of my head looks like a road rash. I have skin cancer also. One of the things with cancers, when I went in for my triple hernia surgery, the nurse asked me about my cancer. Also had triple hernia surgery at the beginning of the year,
Right.
so I was recovering from
Right.
that. I
That was
was
the
recovering
thing.
from triple hernia surgery, going through chemotherapy, and taking care of Dad, and doing all the rest. So there was that on top. So pain was is the big thing. But the nurse was asking about the chemo, because I was having to get the surgeries done before I started chemo to make sure that healed up so I wouldn't get an infection. And she was also asking, do you have any other cancers? I'm like, yeah, I got skin cancer. It's like, yeah, that's usually how it is. If you have one kind of cancer, usually you're going to have a couple others also. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So I have skin cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and the skin cancers. I can't have surgery right now because of my white blood cell count. I don't want this to be a bitch session about me. It's not. I don't want to. But it's about burnout, so I'm gonna spill it. Okay.
Go ahead and spill it, and because I know that when you do get done spilling it, you're going to come up with a final summation that is going to hopefully be some source of good information, or some source of strength, or some source of good energy at the very least, for some other person who happens to see this, who happens to be going through some part of what you're going through, whether it's taking care of their elderly parent, or having chemotherapy, or dealing with some other very difficult illness that drags them down, even if it's not something as horrible as cancer, or something just as bad, just different. So carry on with the bitch.
Yeah, Hank Green did some videos that are fantastic on this. He just went through chemotherapy for
Hank
Hodgkin's.
Green? Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah. Was it Hank or his brother? One of the two. The writer.
Well, I get them mixed around myself.
Okay. One of the brothers just went through this.
One of the brothers Green?
With Hodgkin's lymphoma. Yeah, one of the brothers Green, but he just had Hodgkin's lymphoma, or I have non-Hodgkin's. So with the skin cancer, I've had so far 8 surgical procedures, having stuff removed, and a skin graft and things like that. But that's been half the amount that I needed, because I was able to treat half the cancers with cannabis. I don't know which one is which, or what. There needs to be a lot more study on this, and I wish there was more push on this. But I'll get a patch of skin cancer, and I've been able to tell. I can now tell. I'm a pro.
Yeah.
And I'll use RSO, Rick Simpson oil, the distilled cannabis, and
No
I'll put
kidding.
a patch of that on. I had some, well, like on here, you can hear where it'll rash up. If it rashes up or has a reaction, that's the cancer that's dying. So the cannabis, the cannabinoids, trigger the lysosome bags in cancer cells to detect the cancer, the problem, and then suicide. So the effect is kind of like a chemical burn, which the cells are killing themselves, and so
That's
it's like
amazing.
a chemical burn. But that only works on, like I said, half, maybe less than half of the cancers that come up. And usually within a few days, if there's no reaction, I know I have to go in and have it cut off. And I have a couple spots that need surgical attention, but I can't get that done yet until I'm done with chemo. So the cannabis, that's why I can't really get away from the cannabis. Smearing large quantities of cannabis oil on your skin gets you high as a kite. That was one of the basis. Yeah. But it's more like the flu on NyQuil kind of high, where it's really drowsy, heavy, kind of everything. Foggy. Yeah, super foggy. And that never really goes away. And then add that to chemo brain. That was kind of where I got the idea of using like paintball pellets and what is that? Liquid DMSO, mix Rick Simpson oil with DMSO and put it in paintball pellets. So you shoot somebody with a paintball pellet with that in it, and it'd be like almost instantly so high they would just fall over. So instead of tasers or shooting them with a gun, you just get them really high by shooting them with a bunch of THC, and then you load them into the back of the car. Or
tranquilize them with that. Oh,
yeah, so safe idea. Tranquilizers. So that's with the cannabis. The alcohol, no amount of alcohol is safe. That's should be pretty obvious, right? But man, I really like. I'm a sugar addict. I like sugar.
Yeah.
Alcohol is sugar, right there. But alcohol makes the brain fuzzy in a. It's liquid, almost like liquid confidence. It makes it so I feel like I'm almost capable of anything again. I get depressed to the point, and I know alcohol's a downer of depressant, but it also makes it so I can kind of fantasize more successfully. Without it, with just the cannabis, which is kind of a downer, or without the cannabis, just sober, I have a hard time convincing myself that I'm worth a shit enough or capable enough to do the things I have in my head. And the alcohol gives me not only the pain, some pain relief, because my hips are garbage, my low back is garbage, the surgical sites, all the surgical... Every place I've had surgery hurts, and the cannabis doesn't. The cannabis makes you so you don't want to move in a way that makes it hurt, whereas alcohol just makes it go away.
So here's a quick question then, if I can ask a quick question. When you say the alcohol kind of gives you the confidence to feel like you might be able to pull off some of the things that are in your head, give us quick just a list, the short list, maybe even the long list, just a synopsis list of the things that are in your head. I know the breathing mask apparatus device was something that you got in your head. What else is clanking around up there of things that you would think would be like, that'd be something to do, or that would be something to do, or what are we talking about here on that list? Things that are in your head.
The respirator is the big one.
Yeah.
But it ties in with some other stuff too. I've kind of been antisocial for a long time, and by mechanical purposes because I'm sick. But 3D printing is something I wanted to get into. It is the technology. It's the thing that makes things. And I think being good at the thing that makes things is a good thing to be good at.
Yeah, I see the wisdom in that.
And with video games and sci-fi and so cosplay, and the idea that I mentioned it earlier, it's 2023, and I said we should be wearing cool clothes, but that's not what I meant. It's 2023, we should have powered clothes. There are like earth gear, earth protective gear. We have fires in Canada. We have sweltering heat in Florida. We have dickwads with guns. that get upset. Karens with AKs is kind of the my mindset.
Okay.
So with the proliferation of weapons, there's so many guns. It's a solution waiting for the worst possible problem to solve. And so if every Karen has a gun in her bag, it's going to get worse. So the other thought was part of cosplay, a bulletproof vest, body armor. I mentioned the Cyberpunk series, Edge Runners. In Edge Runners, a lot of their clothing is powered clothing, powered armor, it's cool sci-fi stuff. But being it is today and how kind of chaotic it is and how more and more frogs are starting to kick in the boiling water, just going to the grocery store is a risk. And I know you're into your risk management. So if you could
personal
integrate
defense systems would be
personal
part
defense,
of, would be part
but
of
if you could make
management.
it not just personal defense, there's
Fashionable.
the military. Yeah, there's military guys that are like the tactical and have all black vests. The Wesley Snipes. The hell was his character in he was the vampire, the Daywalker.
Yeah, Blade.
He had all the Blade. So there's a tactical
Blade.
Blade type of cosplay, which is cool. But I want more than just that. If you're going to have body armor, can you make it look sexy? Can you make it look
Sexy
stylish?
body armor.
And we can do it. I know we can do it. Every video game out there does it in their own way. And we now have John Wick? I don't know if you've seen any of the Wick movies.
I've seen
with
them all.
Keanu Reeves. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That armor, there's a YouTuber that made the suit, the bulletproof suit. I guess it costs tens of thousands of dollars to have it done. And it made him look like he was wearing a suit of armor that looked like a suit. But we have the materials now. And I'm going to compare myself a little bit to Elon Musk. Not that I've done anything. But Elon Musk, his claim to fame is first principles today. So there's a lot of stuff that wasn't possible that a lot of conservative type establishment people will go, oh, we can't do that because we have supply chains and we have materials and we have all these contracts. And where Elon Musk came in and said, what can we do now? Well, we've got cool materials. We can do this right now if we ignore all this. And then he just did it. So he used the technology we have today to do the cool stuff that we imagined doing 50 years ago. Well, we imagined a lot of cool stuff 50 years ago that we can now do today, and we're not doing it. And some people are doing it, but it's still expensive. It's hard. Chemo brain, I still haven't figured out how to use CAD and the 3D printer. I don't know if you can see the 3D printer right here. I have one.
Oh.
Yeah, she who shall not be named got me one. Got me a 3D printer for, I think it was Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's fantastic. I've used it to make a couple parts that I couldn't get online. So it's been awesome. I figured that out, but I was able to download somebody else's design.
Well, there's a slew of designs out there. Models,
right.
I should say models.
Right, models. So cosplay, armor, the Quonset hut, again, 2023. We have, we're using building houses that our grandpappies built and thinking that it's still okay. We've upgraded a lot, largely to concrete blocks, so that's a bit, but we're building
That's huge.
square.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, but there's still square houses in a row.
Yeah.
With peaks. Now the problem with the roofs, especially in Florida or in anywhere there's wind, is first of all they work really good. That we haven't found better, or for the price and for the aesthetic, because it matches with Grandpappy's house, it keeps the water out better than most technologies.
Yep.
But when you live in a place that has regular tornadoes and regular hurricanes and regular storms and downpours, that roof gets damaged. A tornado can just grab the edge of your house and pull that off.
We know it's not the most wind-resistant ideal design.
Right, and we have been for hundreds of years experimenting, and we know there's a design that survives tornadoes and hurricanes extremely well. You can see it when the helicopters go over tornado areas in the Midwest. The houses are all flattened. Except for the Quonset hut barns where the tractors are kept. Well, why? And then they rebuild another square fucking house. I was like, but you know what design survives, and the only reason they're building a square house is because of their nostalgia. They remember being on their grandfather's porch, the wraparound porch with the white picket fence, and the nostalgia. The opposite of first principles. So the Quonset hut, solar panels, we have water generators from humidity now, so you don't even have to be hooked up to water or worry about that being polluted. And we have, I don't know if you've noticed, we have some humidity here. So there's no shortage of free water. And in Florida. In Florida. Well, that's where I'm at, so I'm not worried about anywhere else right now. So we have all these dangers, all these risks, and we're still doing what we used to do for the last 500 years. Mm-hmm. We've gotten better at stuff, and so that's the kind of when I'll put some CBD oil on a couple patches of skin cancer. I'll have a couple drinks, and I turn on some music, and I call it sentry mode, where I'm just kind of I'm just pacing. I just walk the perimeters of the inside of the house, looking at every room, picturing everything that's been in that room while I've been here. What worked, what didn't, what shapes, and then going to the next room, and my mind just. So that's that's what I like about the alcohol. It lets me just spin my brain, whereas when I'm sober, which I can't be because of the cannabis, but without the alcohol, I just kind of dwell in darkness. I dwell in what I haven't done yet. I get caught up in my inadequacies, I guess.
Well, that's quite a thread away from the burnout now.
Yeah. Well, see that you do that for a while, and you do that with lack of sleep, and it's the burnout for me is not quite so much now. Mostly it's just exhaustion from not being able to sleep. And that alcohol helps with that also. I'm still able to hear, and then I can get up, help Dad, get him reset, because I can be a staggering, silly blastard, and
still be able to pull that off.
I can still, I know how to work a computer, and I know how to help Dad, and I'm just super cool with that. It's just, and then I can go right back in and go. So, but I haven't. I try. I'm only having a few drinks, maybe 3 days a week, but it's still more than I should. It's.
So what?
And less than I used to.
What does future Sean want to tell present day Sean about in terms of advice on how to get not over this? I don't want to say over it or even through it, perhaps through it, but basically just what would future Sean give to present day Sean as an action item, say for instance, to just say, do this one little action for this one outcome now. Don't know what that might be. or maybe some other bit of advice. What is future Sean gonna say to present day Sean? Just be like, dude, you are enough, or whatever it might be. Um, look, this is what you're gonna become, and all you have to do is X, Y, and Z to become, or whatever, however it might be. Is there something that future Sean, if you can channel future Sean for a second, wants to say to present day Sean with regards to maybe I'll go ahead and use the word manifest, even though that can go down sideways for a lot of people, and it sure goes down sideways for me. But I'll use that one for now. To manifest some of these design ideas that you see in video games that you like. The designs are there, is basically what I'm saying. And what I'm hearing you say is you want to have some of these designs that you know are there be manifest in real life.
Yeah, I don't even have to think of them. They already exist.
Exactly. Taking the right materials and fabricating, whether that's by 3D printing or however it has to be done, fabricating these things, for cosplay or for personal defense or for environmental comfort, whatever the desired outcome might be.
No, or. It's and.
Yeah, exactly. Because all of these things are valid and important and will take you, Sean, into that future that you can fully envision and see and would like to be in. So future Sean says to you, Sean, what?
There is nothing I could say. Well, it would be the fact that future Sean is talking to me would change everything. So that would be the catalyst. It wouldn't even have to be some wise words. It would just be seeing me from the future show up in front of me and go, fuck, there is a future.
I get that. I get that.
Because I have thought about this. Because I am future me. I am the future me. There's 53 years of past me that I am the future me of. What would today me go back in time and tell yesterday me to do better? And there's nothing. The only thing would be the shock of me might trigger something. But just the information of, oh, you need to do this, and then everything will be great. Well, there are reams of books written all about the things that you should do that millions of people had become successful doing that I'm not doing.
Big should.
The one thing I could do if I could go back in time as the future me and motivate the past me to do something would be tell me what stocks are going to go through the roof and to just invest everything I could into that, right? Simple. That's the simple fantasy. It's not more complicated than that. Money. That's again with the Musk reference, Musk without money is us. We are Musk without money. If his father didn't have an emerald mine and give him the opportunity and the money to fuck around and find out, if we had had the money, if our dads had had an emerald mine, we would have built the Flit bike 20 years ago. We would have built the first drone. We would already be super crazy inventors because we had it in us back then. We wrote the fucking book on it, right?
I suppose.
We wrote and designed, and wrote about a flying motorcycle that they're building today, and I still think they get the design wrong. But I'm not dealing with those. They have that one seated one that's pretty close to what we designed. So if we had had money back then, we would be Elon Musk with flying motorcycles instead of electric cars. So money and freedom to go towards whatever we're inspired to do would be the thing. It really is luck. I'm not a genius. I should say, Musk and other people aren't any smarter than we are. They were as smart as us and had the motivation and the money, the resources to do it. There are people that are way smarter than Musk and those guys that just do it themselves. That takes a special kind of confidence and stress and pressure to make a mind snap and just do it. And we didn't have that for whatever
Certainly
reason.
Apparently did not have the...
Yeah. So I don't know what inspirational, I don't have an inspirational thing. You just do it day by day. Now as I'm bitching about all of this, and again, you've got a lot of junk in your trunk that we need to hash out. So I don't want it to be all about me. Yeah.
That'll be an episode where I drop a bomb on anybody who, cares.
Bomb on me. You dropped a bomb. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. That's having ruler flashbacks.
Oh, those were the house hound days.
Yeah. So I don't have I don't have words of wisdom, but I'm bitching about the things that I'm struggling with, and I'm struggling with them more now with chemo and surgery and age and arthritis and fucking blindness. I take these off and there is nothing I can't. So everything is harder, but at the same time, the thing that keeps me going, and I think is probably some of the same things that keep you going, and the things we talked about more than our bitching, is all the cool shit that's happening. There's self-driving cars. There's ChatGPT. There's AI. There's AI-generated art and music. There's all kinds, and the technology to pull moisture out of the air to make water, and solar panels have gotten super cheap, and batteries have gotten super cool. So there's all kinds of super cool stuff in the world. There's rockets. New rockets, Starship is going to be launching sometime this month. Hopefully it doesn't explode. That would be nice. But if it does, that'll look cool too. So I'm
they'll
super
figure
cool
it out
with
on the
that.
next one.
And they'll figure it out eventually. So there's still all kinds of cool stuff happening. I'm constantly reminded of sci-fi novels that I used to read. I just absorbed sci-fi novels and would dream of being in that universe. But you always dream about the cool stuff from the book. And when you're in the sci-fi novel, because we're at the beginning of most sci-fi novels. This is the setting. Billionaires building rockets, billionaires building AI, crazy billionaires running for president, and right-wing fanatics and left-wing. We're in a sci-fi novel, and it's not as cool as just reading it in a book. In a book, you can just take all the good stuff and all the fun adventure part, and there's no discomfort, there's no arthritis, there's no blindness, there's no cancer, there's no surgery pain, there's less pain.
I suppose we still could be considered the everyman, and if the writer wants to make the everyman protagonist of the movie or book, somebody that has to deal with chronic pain, they'll
but you're still just reading it. It might have been my personal flaw, is you're not experiencing it, and I like to think of myself as fairly empathetic and empathic, and I can recognize pain and discomfort in others. But when I'm reading a book, that's not what I was doing. I was just trying to live the adventure of the main character and experience the coolness. So you could write a character that has going through a bunch of pain, but you're not going to feel it. So when they're talking about crawling through broken glass to get to the end, you're like, yeah, do
You're
that.
more into the description of the pain than you are the pain itself.
Yeah, once your belly flat on the broken glass, that's, boy,
You're like going,
hitting the road.
Stop the book already.
Stop the book. And we're in the book. We are living the book right now.
Well, let's wrap it up right here at that one. What we'll do is we'll leave a little teaser for a future episode, because you're right. There is a bomb that would need to drop on people. And that's going to be a whole nother conversation. And in addition to that, I've got another book idea that I think what I might do. I've written a synopsis for it, and
I bet you AI could get you most of the way through that real quick.
It's another one of those things that would prefer to be a screenplay, but it is certainly a story that has popped into my head for the longest time, and I would very much love to get it out there. So, but
and you are the writer, man. If anybody can sit down and plug out words.
Yeah, telling it too much on here, or even relaying my synopsis, I would be probably too worried that somebody else would be like, "Ooh, I can take that idea." That's like going, well, that's actually an idea worth stealing, and I don't know if it is, but maybe it would be better. Anyway,
capitalism has made us all paranoid.
Is that what it is?
Well, why would you be worried about having the idea stolen?
Fear of loss.
Money. Future loss.
Yeah. Well, anyway, dude, this has been radical, and I mean, as far as just being able to connect with you again. And
well, thank you for listening to me get my shit off my chest, I guess.
No, happy to do that. And I'm hoping that at the very least, somebody else who is experiencing something very much like what you're experiencing, or maybe not even bad, or they thought they had it so bad, will be able to go, maybe I can just carry on for at least one more day. That'll be at least something.
The good does outweigh the bad, as long as you're not wallowing in the bad. So that's, I guess, words of wisdom. It's shitty, but it's good too.
You are a trooper, and just my final thought on this real quickly in regards to your dad is that once again, I know you know this already, but I'll just say it for everybody else out there. I have a great deal of respect and admiration for what you're doing for him.
Thank you.
He did his life, and he served his country, and ultimately he was a great man, in his own small way.
Yeah.
I know that he influenced people as a teacher in some small way. There's probably going to be at least a few kids that are just slightly older than us who remember having him as their teacher, and well, good old Mr. Gilbert, and he taught me this one thing, that has stuck with me forever. There's going to be those people. So he had influence there, a great person, and you're taking care of him. And there's just nothing that you can say that trumps that, really.
Thank you.
That's huge. That's huge.
Thank you. I just trying to do what I can. I love my dad for all his flaws, and I just need to. And he always thanks me. I think that's one of the things that really helps is he also knows it and he appreciates it, and that helps a lot too.
Yeah. Well, dude, namaste. Have a great day, and
have a good gig later.
I will talk to you in a bit. Since I'm not on the phone, when you hit the kill button, we'll be over with. So
I'll hit the kill button.
Have a great day.
See ya.